So, oh yeah, we gotta open a meeting, I guess. Let's call a meeting to order with a salute to the flag. Come on. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't think I ever started a meeting at 8:50.
I had one that we've talked a little bit about, the chipper. And, the one they have is really not safe, and Tyler's gotten some prices. And there's several options. He's gotten two prices for two different size chippers from each of two different companies. Long story short, the one that they really want is the cheapest one. I'll just go through quickly what they have. First of all, there's gas chippers and diesel chippers. Diesels are more expensive. They would prefer to have gas, not diesel, because it's easier to work on. If they have a problem with it, they can do it easily. And it's also, diesel has some requirements for emissions control that you don't have on gas. So I don't even have any prices for diesel, but they are more expensive. There's two companies that he got prices from. One is Vermeer, and for 135 horsepower was $48,780, and it has what's called a PSI engine. They'd prefer not to get that because it's not a standard engine. Not sure where they would get parts for it if they needed it. There was another one from them that was an 89 horsepower for $35.72. Same problem with the PSI engine. The Finkel and Sons Brush Bandit. There was two of those. One was 165 horsepower, $48,967. That has a Ford engine. And the other one was 84 horsepower, $33,193.60. Also with a Ford engine, and that one has some things that it's a kind of better equipped for municipal use. I'm not sure exactly why or what. And there's also there's a thing that we talked about buying it on the county bid, but they don't have county bid for these things. They have a thing called Source Well, which is kind of equivalent to the county bid, and the Brush Bandit is on that Source Well. So that's the one that they want. So it's the $33,193.60. It's the cheapest one, and it's the one that they say is best value.
How many horsepower was that one?
That was 84 horsepower.
Okay.
They say it's supposed to be able to chip a log 12 foot in
12 inches?
12 inches.
12 foot.
Wow.
1 foot. 12 inches, yeah. I've seen people using chippers, and I've never seen anybody put anything that big into a chipper, but
Yeah.
apparently you can. Ray, you probably know a little bit about that.
If you're putting a 12 inch in, there's something wrong, because that's the max, I mean.
Should be cutting that up for firewood.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big log. Usually people cut that for firewood, but
I've seen it done
that's a standard, that's a standard size.
with a grapple.
So where
pick
would
it
we
up
take
and-
the funds to pay for this?
Well, we'd allocate coming out of the machinery fund, that's what I just looked at. We don't have the money in there right now, but we would transfer the money over. But I would say at this point, we would just, because we don't have to pay for this this is something you said that's pretty quick, right?
It'll be a few months, I think, to
Yeah.
get it. I don't remember the exact date.
What was the brand again? The manufacturer?
It's
Brush Bandit, is that the one?
Yeah, that's FINKE and Sons. And somewhere on here, Robert H. Fink and Sons. They're in Selkirk. And
So we don't have this budgeted, obviously. So it would come out of our equipment line. What we could do to track the money, I would allocate it out of the machinery line, because that's where it should be bought out of the machinery line. And we have money in to transfer to capital for this year, $50,000 we budgeted. we could easily transfer that into the machinery fund to cover that purchase instead of just making the transfer to the reserve account.
So we've already used the equipment for the new truck.
Equipment reserve fund is what we're going to be paying the truck with.
Okay.
Yes. So,
The reserve fund, okay.
We do have, again, we don't know what we can do with this money yet, so I don't want to count that until
Right,
we know for sure.
I agree.
But, so we can just make that transfer to cover this purchase if we want to do that. We'll have to amend the budget, obviously.
Okay,
to show
so
the difference.
we have the
Actually,
funds
we wouldn't
already
have to
for the
amend
truck.
budget If we do this, we do it this way, we don't have to amend the budget, because we already budgeted the 50,000 to go into the capital, which we could easily transfer just into the machinery instead. There's no restriction on that. So,
And then we could maybe offset some of that with by auctioning off the current one.
whatever
Can we do that?
get for that, which I think they said is probably at least worth $6,000 or $7,000, maybe.
Yeah, I'm surprised that
Well,
anybody would pay that.
whatever it brings, 5, 6, 7, whatever we get. I mean, I obviously can go back towards.
Yeah, it's not as much as I was thinking though.
Well, it's an older unit. It's got some issues, but it is worth something.
Yeah,
You
'cause
don't know.
I asked the question of Tyler if he could get a price for repairing that. And he said, well, if it's too old, you can't even get the parts. So I don't know if somebody buys it, I mean, they're gonna use it without,
Something like buy it for parts.
Personally, yeah,
Yeah,
anybody
sure.
personal. If it's not a municipality, anybody can buy it and use it the way it is. I mean, that's what a lot of people do. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's still, it works. You know, it's nothing. The
it,
machinery
it
works.
will chip, but it also,
It's just
not safe.
it's a little dangerous, yeah. So we do really probably need to act on this fairly quickly because we don't want to take a chance. They do have a lot of brush to grind up and obviously clean up roads. We don't want to have them work with this, unless it's safe.
No, I agree. I thought in the past that they had hired an outside company to do a lot of the tree clearing.
Only the big trees like over power lines and stuff like that where they can't do, but they clean up all the sides of all the roads. So
Okay.
just the stuff that they can't handle, they hire out for like once or twice a year.
Okay,
yeah, and trees that fall down or something, they're cutting those up too.
right. Okay.
Has there been a lot after these recent storms?
I haven't asked them
Not
specifically.
a lot,
Yeah.
there've been some.
They've been cleaning a lot of ditches out, I know that.
Yeah.
But
A lot of water.
Yeah, I think some of the past work has maybe helped.
A couple of yards.
where we don't have so many trees falling because they have cleaned up in the past. That's why I brought up the outside companies that they've come in and had trim over power lines and things like that. So a lot of that cleanup has probably helped and that they've done it already.
A couple times a year, once a year at least. I know they do. You know, they mark whatever is dangerous and come in and do the stuff they can't do.
Yeah.
So,
About 10 years ago, we put the in-home generator in because we were losing power a lot over there. But then they put that new line in from the power plant all the way over to Germantown for Taconic so that they could shed their load. And they did all the cutting of the trees, and we didn't lose power for about 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
for more than like a flicker or
Yeah.
whatever. But it's starting to, so everything's starting to grow again, and
Right.
so we did lose power a couple times.
My power has always been very reliable, and I have to say this past year, it's gone out probably 3-4 times.
And
And
I
I'm
think
not
that's
sure why.
a result of the trees are growing again, so they haven't done that.
Yeah,
And they butchered the trees
yeah.
between Route 9 and Germantown many years ago.
But you saw the difference.
And we saw the difference.
Yeah.
They literally butchered them.
Yeah. I'm okay. Unless anyone else has
No, I'm fine.
We
questions,
have to do it. It doesn't seem.
I'll make a motion.
I don't think we really can put this off. It's something
No.
we should really, I mean, what's the difference you put off now or kill? We need to do it now, I think so.
Well, at least
Especially
get it
with Tyler,
rolling.
Like a younger person working, I just. feel
Right.
like we
And we have, there's delays with getting things too.
Yeah, maybe a few months, several months, we don't know, but let's see if we get it ordered immediately, the quicker we order, the quicker better, so.
And then we got the truck ordered already, that's not coming till next year,
That'll be
right?
next year, I
I
think.
think the
next year.
chipper, I think would be quicker, but it may not be till October or something.
Okay. So you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Motion.
second.
Then we go with what, specify what we're going with. The brush bandit, for how much?
$33,193.60.
And we'll pay that out of machinery line 5130.4. We'll move the money over before we make that payment.
I see that price again.
Got the price on it?
33,193.
Right there.
33,193.
Okay, we got a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, let's hear that.
All right, so we'll just, get you to see Tyler, tell him to go ahead and order it.
It's in order.
Just give us an idea of what.
And the only other thing I want to do is bring up, we talked about this real quick, the stamps are going up. We're gonna just put this through, we need a bunch of them anyway. We spoke to Joan, the court, the clerk, who else? The assessor. We needed a total of about 40 rolls, so it's.
We're gonna collaborate on their budgets that were already put in for stamps?
The what?
Their
Yeah, this
budgets.
all comes out of individual
Yeah, so
departments.
collectively, okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's all
well, yeah,
broken
and that's
down.
what was
That's
detailed
why-
on
Yeah.
that.
What's the date today?
26th.
26th. So we have one voucher for $2,200. Voucher,
We need to
what?
discuss the CFA.
I just moved mine from 10 to 13 to make it an easy 40, so.
So we put an abstract for this? All right, there you go, Bob. Want to do abstract? 2,200? What was that, abstract number 8?
Dawn and, whose signature is this? We're in 21 now, 2021.
I'm gonna put one on.
I put 20.
It's probably a very skinny
All
zero
right, read that. We got 8, abstract 8, number 201.
or a wide one, I should say.
Yeah, and the amount of $2,200.
$2,200.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now your bar stamps.
Okay. So.
I added the 21 to your 20.
Oh, okay. So, the consolidated fiscal application is due at 4 o'clock on Friday. And in order, the minimum, we're, applying under the recreational trails program, which is the same grant that we did a couple of years ago. But the minimum that request is $25,000, and that's 80%. So we would, require a project about $31,250 or something like that. I looked at the kiosk, the Terrabelt kiosk, because of, it's crazy. It now costs over $13,000 because of it's made of the plastic and all that with the materials costs. That's kind of ridiculous. I also looked at, doing some interpretive panels, like we could put, if we had the Monarch Meadow, we could put something on there, kind of like the signs you see over at like Claremont State Historic Site. Those are not that expensive. They're like $1,500 a piece. But that's really not going to get us a $30,000 project. So what Lindsay and I talked about 5:30 today was putting in for a pavilion.
Okay.
That
would
would
be
probably
The
be,
picnic pavilion.
yeah, a picnic pavilion, right,
Where,
somewhere in the
Park.
park. I'm not sure,
Parking lot?
we would have to choose a spot.
That would be nice to have a pavilion. Get out of the sun. You don't
I
think?
don't know, well, I think that we need to know a little more about it. What's-
Well, if we get a grant for it, we're talking.
Right, and we
Even
can
if it's
decline
like,
it too.
Like
We
one of
can-
those pole barns and, not a pole barn. but,
Or I was thinking
right.
like
Something with
something more like,
open.
You got
Open sides with a roof.
poles
Right.
In the ground there too.
Yeah.
right,
A
right,
structure without, like Red Hook has one.
At the rec park.
All of
right,
the towns
right,
have
like,
that.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
like over
That-
at
yeah, that-
Palatine Park, something like that.
Yeah,
You
that,
can either have like picnic tables already
Yeah,
there.
that'd be
or
nice.
We don't
To
know.
have a cement
If we
slab.
get the money, we
and
can
then-
try to figure out where to put it.
Right.
We
And we
could
could,
do something really lovely too.
and we could do fundraising for our
Yeah.
20% too.
I mean, if we can get $25,000 towards it, we only got 6-7 grand. We could raise some money and find a spot where it might make sense to put it. I mean, a pavilion would be nice to
People
get some
would
shade.
use it a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be very popular.
So I think that's a good idea.
It-
Okay.
The hardest question would be where to put it.
Right,
That would be another
Best-
discussion. But if we
best
get the money, we'll
use.
figure that out.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it has to go
And-
by one of the parking
And
lots.
it's gonna be difficult to put it on the remediated land too, because you can't go down further
Right,
than
right.
2 feet.
We'd have to get permission to dig the holes, that's all, or pound them in, you can pound them in.
Yeah,
That could actually be your kiosk too, for most, like the side, one side.
Right,
One
right.
side of the pavilion is solid.
we could do something like that,
Incorporate
right.
your kiosk
Keep,
into it.
you're right. Yeah, it's 2 years ago. It was like $6,000 something dollars.
That's ridiculous.
And then then
You
it
get
went
a
up.
local person to do it.
Right, then it went in. The last time I did a quote 2 or 3 months ago, it was over 8,000, and now it's up over 13.
So is there, as far as material, are you looking for, I mean, you were mentioning some sort of a plastic, is that what
For
you're?
the kiosk.
Yeah.
Well, this was that Terrabuilt one that is a material that is, it's not wood. It's like a kind of a composite that would probably last forever. But at $13,000, that's kind of ridiculous at this point.
But for the pavilion, because it's due on Friday,
Right.
I talked to the guy who did the sign, Justin Leddick, who's over on County Route 6, and he suggested that there's some companies that have essentially kits, like their timber frame kits, and he thought we should just find one of an adequate size and then use that for the grant, and then we can find a local contractor. We could buy the kit, or
Right.
he thought it would probably be a little bit less, but it would give us, like if his company did it, or we would obviously have to.
If we were to get the grant, we would
But
have
it
to
would give
bid
us
it out.
it would give us some breathing room too if we wanted to do lighting. We may not. I have no idea, but it will.
Right,
anyways, He thought that would be a good enough estimate for this grant on Friday. So
Right.
he was going to send.
Because if we receive the grant, we would have to go in accordance with our procurement policies, and then anything, it's federal money that's administered by State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. So any of their bidding requirements too, we would have to go through. So at
There's a lot more.
$30,000, we would definitely have to bid it out.
All right. I mean, that's great. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Why not?
And
Bob don't like it, but that's all right. He'll grow on it. He'll grow on it.
It's we kind of have to go big, like.
Yeah, because you're not talking. Yeah,
Right.
you got
it's a
something
great
to talk.
opportunity.
Right, and I think some of the other, like the interpretive science, I was actually
Little
surprised.
stuff we can come up with.
Right,
All the big
exactly.
projects is hard.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of it's not going. It has to fit into the strategy of the Capital Region Economic Development Commission. So a lot of that is job growth. This is not high job growth. So I don't know how.
We might not get the grant.
So we might not get it.
Right.
But the night.
We
Well,
can start the
good thing
conversation.
is that I was able to clone our application from 2 years ago. So a lot of
Oh,
the
that's
questions
nice.
are the same that carried over. So some of them I didn't have to change. Some of them I just had to update. And then the bad thing is they don't allow you access to the documents. So some of those I got from Mary Howard that she and I had worked on it 2 years ago. So it's not that bad. If we were to do something bigger, there is money out there for, like planning, that we could get money for, a comprehensive plan and stuff like that. I'd have to start sooner, and we probably might need some professional help to help us do that.
I
But there
would
is money out there.
definitely be in favor of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
Mary's
Mary
been
Howard has been pressing on
Yeah.
that, and
but she's scared to hell. I mean, she said it was over $100,000 to
Yeah.
do this. I'm like, oh my god,
Well,
that's a lot of money
yeah.
Yeah.
for a small town.
Yeah, there's money out there, but we would probably
We're
need
gonna have to find some.
some consultants to help us maybe do that application too. And I think there are ones out there who would help us for a small fee or no fee.
Okay.
But we could intend to apply for that for next
Yes,
year.
yes.
Yeah.
or at least start budgeting for it,
Right,
because it's going to be expensive, so we should
right.
probably
Assuming we have to
consider
do a
that.
match. Yeah. I agree.
Okay. All right. I guess that's it. Anybody else have anything else?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we adjourn? Motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.